Right, hello Chocky Chat people. It is it's the 29th of March, isn't it? It's episode 131. I think we're a quarter of the way through, aren't we? I've seen some incredible, absolutely incredible Easter eggs, chocolate work. Absolutely mind-blowing. Some absolutely, truly amazing stuff going on. I mean, I hope everybody's got good sales. I hope everybody has hit their targets and done all their bits. So, here we go. It's all about cake Cheshire. Hello, Scottish chocolates. Some people joining. So, I think my internet's a little bit slow. Oh, it's just told me. Hello, Mr. Ron's Bonbons. Did everybody see that? That was really good, Ron. That TV bit. I know that was a lot of work. Ron, in the lead up to that. If it's all right, Ron, I'm gonna tell everybody how that happened because Ron gave me a call. But if that's all right, Ron, I'm just gonna explain to people what kind of happened there. So anyway, hello everybody. It's all about the Cake Cheshire. Woohoo! Finally made a Chocolate Chat live. Happy days. Hello, nice, welcome. Who else? Coco Lily. Coco Lily posted some amazing stuff earlier today. Coffee Station in Blagdon, down in. Who else is there? Caroline, I can see. Sally, good evening. Who else have we got? Lots and lots. Hashem, walaikum salam, sweethearts. Hello. Missy Max. Congratulations, Ron. Yeah, Ron did. That was brilliant. I think that's really good. I've done the TV. TV's a real challenge because the stuff that, and for me it was years ago, and you got to decide whether you like doing TV stuff or not, right? And takes you hours to set up, and you just sat around waiting, and then like go, and you've got 30 seconds to do your bit, and it finishes so fast. But we shared that. It was absolutely amazing for Ron to be able to share what he's doing and to get that on primetime TV in the morning. I think it's absolutely amazing. So I hope there is lots and lots of sales as a result of that. So what happened was, so Ron got that offer and he said to me, look, I've had this offer, should I do it? And I picked up the phone and I called him because I think it's the right Chocky Chat thing to do. From my business point of view, James at So Sassy, I do this a lot, and I will pick up the phone and I will talk to people where they've got problems, issues, things happening. Should I do it? Shouldn't I do it? And I talked him through kind of what I would do to set it all up, because you've kind of got 1 minute and 30 seconds to get your brand across, show your passion, show what you do, and also keep it interesting. It's quite a big ask to do that. So like we could talk through that. I know he had a really busy weekend, and you kind of track back from the crack out and then say, well, what would I do? And I'm sure Ron ended up with a little bit of wastage, the way they're piping the bags. I think the guy that put his finger in the black cocoa butter was like, didn't look like he enjoyed that too much, but I thought that was a really good clip. It's a lot of work to get. I don't know what that slot was. I think it was 4 or 5 minutes. It's a huge amount of work to get to the stage where you can just present very quickly like that. But I thought it came across really good. So Scottish chocolates, how are you? Chocolate in the hand, haven't seen you for a while. Who else have we got? Erin, hello. Strawberries. I'm gonna Grandma 2x2 joined. Hello. Andrew there, styling chocolates up in Aberdeen. How's everybody doing? Has everybody got the sales that they wanted? Because it's Good Friday today. Easter is on Sunday, I think. Lots of people doing markets as well. That's really good. So I'm just going to send out some Cocoa Whisperer. Hello. Darth Chocolatier. Pretty fancy chocolate down in New Zealand. Rana, I can see. How is everybody? Mother Baker's joined us. How's everybody doing? Is everybody good? I think one of Knight's Candy Shop. Hi, Gary. How are you feeling, Gary? Knight's Candy Shop. Are you better? He was a poorly boy. Tart Montreal. I saw that post. Are you closing, or are you just going to take a sabbatical for a little bit and just see how it rides out? I was going to talk to everybody tonight about tough times ahead, I think. Some tough times ahead. Price of cocoa going up, and kind of what does it mean. So So hello from Vienna. Hello in Vienna. Tough times ahead because the price, and we're watching this carefully because it affects us as well. It affects everybody in chocolate, right? And we've kind of seen this before with other things because there's been, you know, if you go back a couple of years, butter and cream spiked and it went through the roof. It was 4 or 5 times the price. We were paying, you know, and I was in hotels where we were buying, you know, cream at 20, I think it was £26 for 2.5 litres, and it literally rocketed to 90, and you kind of got to absorb it and diversify and make every single little bit count. What I have said to chocolatiers, the price is going up, and there's many causes to it, and then there are some things going on in the background which, as the end users, it affects us, but it's left us kind of stuck in the middle a little bit. And what it means is, yes, there's been a poor harvest in West Africa. The price has rocketed. The stock market is going in and buying it. Speculators are going in and buying up the excess. That's what's pumped the price up. The sad thing is that the farmers, they're not going to get a good cut of that. So where cocoa's gone over 10,000 a tonne right now, the farmers aren't getting that. The middleman's going to get very wealthy, and the brokers are going to get very wealthy. So they're the ones that are just pumping the price up because of the shortage. So the stock, because it's a soft commodity, is short, right? So they've shorted the market by buying up what's there. The next yield is going to be, they're saying April, and then the next one will be September, and it's really riding that out a little bit. What I have said to a lot of chocolatiers is this is a time where you maybe need to diversify a little bit, and what I mean is, whilst you are chocolatiers, I would have a look at the cakes, I'd have a look at the cookies. If you're home based and you've got a food license at home, what else are you allowed to make that would sit alongside your chocolate? So the macarons, the cookies, the tray bakes, you might not like doing them, but I think it would be necessary to make something that sits on the side of the chocolate so that you can remain making chocolate. The other thing I'd say is make every single little bit count. So just analyze what you're doing in terms of fillings, okay? And caramel needs to be your best friend. I can hear footsteps. Caramel needs to be your best friend. Caramel is it's sugar and cream, right? Limit how much. So you're going to need to shell with chocolate, cap with chocolate, but have a look at the fillings, and do they all need chocolate? Does it all need to be chocolate? Do they all need to be chocolate filled? Can you diversify a little bit? Can you just be a bit more economical with how much you use? I think there is still scope to trade, and chocolate is still it's a luxury commodity that people will still purchase, right? Good stuff anyway. There are some worries with the market, and that's whether the big brands start using alternatives to chocolate and the market gets flooded. And I think the other thing that we had a talk with somebody about recently, I mean literally like a day or so ago, was that there's a shortage now, and then the yields may well go back up. Okay, and when the yields go back up, do we get a glut? So we get too much, and then the price gets absolutely plummeted down, and then we get poorer quality chocolate come into the market. So there's so many what ifs at the moment, and it is, yeah, it's a little bit worrying. It's a little bit worrying, but I would say, yeah, it's time to reevaluate. Just, you know, what are you making? What do you need to make? You need to make every single ounce of chocolate count. Okay, so experiments and all that stuff is just kind of on the shelf for now, and it's just making sure that you can get the full yield out of what you're making and what you're buying, so you can get maximum sales. And do, like I said, you know, do you need to have chocolate in every single filling? Do you need to make ganache? Can you make caramel? Can you do pralines, yandujas? Can you diversify a little bit with some of your fillings? And then on top of that, if you are home producing, it's worth asking yourself whether you could do some alternative products that would sit on the side of it. So I'm talking about going into like that bakery area. So whether it's cakes or cookies or macarons, or what else could you sit on the side of your chocolate wares for now that would be of interest to that market? And I think that's reevaluating and just diversifying a tiny bit. So but yeah, reevaluate what's going on. It is turbulent times without a doubt. Made Chocolate's there, hello. Who else have we got? I'm just sending some hellos out. Sending some La Goose Noire. Hello. Give me a second. I'm just scrolling back. Nick of the Chocolate Pig, he was at market today. He does some nice stuff as well. So there's people in Texas. Sugar Sheila, hello. Seen you for a while, Sugar Sheila. Susie Floozy's joined us. Hello. So Montreal, a sabbatical, but I'll come back in a different form. Absolutely. Do you know? You have to. It affects us. You know, we got a product that's going to market, which is going to be aimed. Yes, it's for chocolatiers, but a move towards the kind of patisserie market as well, which is much bigger. I will always remain in chocolate because that's my love. Talking about diversify, can I show you what Sophia did this week? I did a post. These are lip glosses, and no, I am not going to be trialing them. But Sophia did. Sophia does her little bars. Okay, here's Sophia now.
Hello.
Sophia does her little bars. They are, what flavour are those?
It's upside down.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's upside down. Those are. Tell us what flavour those are.
Salted caramel and hazelnut.
And that is.
Salted caramel and hazelnut.
So we've got salted caramel and hazelnut bars, but going with a salted caramel and hazelnut lip gloss, which I will not be demonstrating, nor will I be videoing. But some different flavours. So we talked about diversifying a little bit, and it's about adding some spend and adding. It's something you wanted to do, right? It's something you wanted to do. So
Always.
we got the gear together and we had a look at it. We've got to put together safety data sheets. We've got to do allergen sheets and safety data sheets for those. All right. And then there's some people going to be trialing those.
So cherry, and this one is strawberry.
Strawberry.
It's very nice.
So the bars will match the lip gloss, right? I think the bars will be eaten before the lip gloss has gone, right?
Yeah.
But again, like we looked at organic products and we looked at, what can we make? What can we do? What would be different? Happy days.
Yeah.
You like them,
my
don't you?
crochet yarn? I can't find it
I don't
anywhere.
know. It'd be in the other room. You're just into making stuff, aren't you?
Yeah. Bye, guys. See you later.
If we don't teach them, who will, right? If we don't show them and encourage them to do something, and this is not just about children, your own children, but young people. If we don't show them that you can start your own business and you can add 2 and 2 together and get 3, 4, 5, 6 and make products and actually make something and get something to market. If we don't show them, because the schools aren't, right? And my opinion on it is very much that schools just want them to be employees, right? And for all of you running your own businesses, even if you're working for somebody else, doing your own thing, and making money with your own thing is such a lovely thing. The money that you get paid from doing your own thing is so much more valuable than the money you get as a paycheck, right? I'm sure there are lots of people that know exactly what I'm talking about there. But anyway, that's our next thing. We seem to be moving in towards the we're doing chocolate and cosmetics. What have I done? Anyway, I'm just going to scroll back. Why all these creative confections? Hello. If you're new, you're allowed to ask questions. This is the night. Paula's there. Paula owned a shop. How's it going, Paula? Did you sell out of Easter eggs? How's the Easter egg sales going? Mother Baker. Oh, my lippy. I'm not going to do it. I'm not gonna put the lip. You're not gonna. They were getting me to taste it the other day, and it's like, yeah, that tastes of salt caramel and hazelnut. Who'd have thought, right? Is there any chance to find another nozzle pin? Rotary cakes. If that's for the fender, probably not. What bit have you lost the nozzle bit off the end there? A lot of people seem to do that, don't they? So yeah, they're going to sell as a. So you buy the chocolates and you buy the lip gloss together, right? So I'll do a post about that. I don't know whether we'll do that before or after we've been on holiday. So and just to remind everybody, we're away from the 5th to the 20th. So you any orders, you need to get them in by Wednesday at the absolute latest in our post. I've got lots of orders that have come in the last couple of days, so they're all posted out. They'll be going out Tuesday because it's bank holiday, but all orders ideally need to be in by Wednesday. I think it's Wednesday the 5th, Wednesday the 4th, Wednesday the 4th, for postage out on the Thursday, or no, it's Thursday's the latest. We're away after Friday night, so I'll be able to get post out on the Friday morning. But if you get your orders in like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday next week, anything ordered after Thursday, I won't be posting out until I get back on the 21st. So I will do a post and I'll do an email shot and all that kind of thing. So Paula's saying shop sales have been fantastic. Still got about 4 eggs left and about 5 please. 4 eggs left. That's not a lot because you still got tomorrow and Sunday to go, right? I can always be a guinea pig to try the bars and lip gloss. Her sisters have had enough of lip gloss and it's an organic. Sophia found it's an organic lip gloss. I had to do a lot of reading on this because she said I want to buy this. So she gave me the list of all the things that she needed. She went and found all the products and got them all costed and did all the bits, you know, and then started putting it together, writing down all what she used and how much and the weights and measures and all that kind of thing. I don't know how much they ate of it though. It's just, but it smells nice, doesn't it? It does smell nice. JC Chocolates, how are you? I've lost my nozzles, just jumbled them up. Lost your, what? Oh, do you mean the nozzles or the pin for the airbrush? The nozzles on the end, that's a difficult one that because it's hard to measure 0.5 and 0.8. Hello. Are you going to come say hello?
Hi.
Do you like the lippies?
Yeah.
You do? What's your favourite?
Definitely the salt and caramel.
The salt caramel and hazelnut. Salt caramel and hazelnut lip gloss. Who'd have thought, right? We loved your peppermint orange and the lemon ash. Yeah, I did. So the collections I didn't do any ganache this time. The collection that I did, may well do another collection before the end of next week. I may well start another collection tomorrow because we need some more chocolate. I made a collection, I made X amount and it went within kind of 48 hours, which is great. But I've just not had a chance to top up with classes and lessons and butters and all the other bits and pieces. So I'm trying to juggle everything at the moment. I may well do another collection this weekend, but I've concentrated more on doing pralines, gandusias and caramels and making that work for me, not so much ganache, right? Fine chocolates. Today's been slow for egg sales, but I hope it goes tomorrow. I hope tomorrow goes nuts. Happy days. I think just keep posting, keep telling people about it. Got to get those sales in by Sunday, and there will always be, you know, if there's always that post that, you know, it's like with Valentine's, it's like, oh, you forgot Valentine's, I've still got eggs, you know, and don't discount them, just do them at the normal price, right? Because like on the Mondays you put a big sign up that says this is the Easter egg for the person you forgot, right? Because they will buy them, right? Fancy Nancy's joined us there in Canada. Wonky Bonbons by Linka. How's everybody? And they taste, Rani is saying they taste nice too. I'll have to get some of the lip gloss from the shop. I don't know how far I want to go into the makeup, but Sophia wanted to do it, or the girls wanted to do it. And like I said, if we don't encourage them, I wish somebody had encouraged me when I was younger to start making something for a market. Right? Just make a product to sell. Not a lot of complaint. I had a really great life. It's getting better. I think we're only just starting. Hi all, how great was Ron's TV appearance this week? Not an easy thing to do. He did a wonderful job. He did an absolutely amazing job actually. It's not easy. I did speak to him afterwards and he's like, it went so quick. It goes so quick and there's so much stuff kind of, you've got to pack it all up and get home. But I'm sure on the back end of that there's been orders. And I think with the, you know, with the TV and the media, and you know, if you've got, you know, like I said this last week, you know, if you've got local newspapers or local anything, send them a shot of what you're doing. Send them, you know, if you're in a small village and you've got a circular or a paper or something, they're always looking for good news stories. And I think that they don't come to find you. You kind of have to go and find them. And it's a bit like your customers. You need to go and find your customers. You need to connect with them, and that's how you get the sales. If you sit waiting, I know there's always this phrase like, if you build it and they shall come. I'm not necessarily sure that's true. I think you have to actually go out and find your customers, and when you do, providing you're well priced and it's a great product, you'll get some loyalty and some buyback and some repeat business, right? Ellen's there, hello. Kelly Wessel, any new luster colours come in, just dig sparkle on everything. No, all the luster dust we got are all the ones that we're doing. I can get blue, I can get different colours. The problem is that those luster dusts that are all coloured, where you can get pink ones and purple, they've got colouring additive in them. And it's not an area that I want to go into. The luster dusts that we do are absolutely 100% pure with no colours in them. So they are literally E555 silicate mica. There is nothing else in there, and they're a really, really fine micron as well. I don't really want to go into that market of putting blue in them. There are some on the market that I've seen, but the actual size of that sparkle is just gigantic. It's huge. It never gets through an airbrush, and you can literally, like, you can feel the pieces. Not an area I want to go into, but the ones that we're doing, you can colour them yourselves, not a problem at all. Pretty fancy chocolate. This is our first year doing Easter. Sold so many, was fantastic. Had one left that we gifted to a friend. That's what you want to do. Nancy saying, I was interviewed on national TV this week and again on our local radio station. Go for it. And you need to put on your website as seen on TV or as heard on the radio. And you just, I think any media, so any mainstream media stuff that you do, whether it's TV or radio, it's kind of like, it's hot potato, right? You just got to keep that juggling in the air while it's still warm, all right? And just get that out so that it drives traffic to your website so that people can consider a purchase, okay? And I think you've got to give that some longevity. You've got to, like I said, treat it like a hot potato. You just got to keep sending it out. Same story, but you keep sending it out to other vendors, other news networks, or other media centres, or even if it's public relation people that work within an industry, just so you can keep that going, because it could be that just completely changes life for you. It could be, it's one tiny decision. You go on TV and do a 30-second interview, and suddenly business just takes off and you never ever look back. So it could just be that tiny little moment that you need, right? And it can work that way. I know it's worked that way for many people, right? Many a chef. Not sure if it's the name nozzle, not which is taken off for a wash. It's the front pin, which is stick together with the gun. No, if that's missing and that's gone, you'll need that. Otherwise, when you go to spray, it's just going to all drip out the end. I'll get yourself another brush. Any good tips on building a website? Well, I don't know if Jason, I know I'm the one to ask on websites. We're having a website designed at the moment. I'm involved in it, and when I say that I'm involved in it, about that much. That's how much I'm involved in it. That's Mrs. So Sassy's area. We're going on a WooCommerce just because we were using Squarespace, which has been great. And it was entry level, but we need it to do so much more now, because I need it to, where we ship so many countries now and so many different couriers, I need their system to attach to mine, and you can't do that with Squarespace. There's tax implications from country to country, and Squarespace doesn't deal with that, so we've had to have a completely different system being built for us. that ties in with another system called Dimension, so that I've got tracking and I've got traceability, and I've got so many other little projects that go alongside all this at the minute. I don't know, Jason. I think Mrs. So Sassy might be able to give you a call on that one, Jason, on building a website. I think having one that's easy to navigate, from my experience, I had some websites that I go on. It's like I just can't find anything. One of the things that instigated us changing ours is we just want to be able to have an easier site for people to find things. Because whether that's a line that's A, B, C, D, whether that is, I want to be able to split titanium free and all the blues together, all the yellows together, all those kind of things. Can I come and say hello as well? That's apple juice.
Oh.
You gonna say hello? Sarah's gonna come and say hello. Saren, what advice have you got, Saren, for websites?
Websites. Nice colours. Nice pictures. Clear writing.
And one that you can manage easily.
Yeah, one that you can manage easily.
Good answer.
Get me back on the camera.
Do you know what I'd say with websites as well is ones that you can update yourself, so you can put your own pictures on there, you can change it easily. You want one that you can manage yourself. I think that's important, rather than paying somebody else to change things. What you don't want to ever do is you've got to send a third party a picture so that they can change your picture on your website. I think that I'm going to get out on a limb here, and I mean this in the most sincere form, right? I've had a lot of frustration with website builders and kind of what I would call tech people, because I liken them to modern builders. They're just kind of like, whoa, that's going to cost you, mate, isn't it? Whoa, that's going to cost. And before you know it, they're like, oh, it's another 200 here, and another 350, and another 200. And where they initially quit, this is, like I said, it's like modern day builders. They say, well, no, I can build it for 500, and by the time you get a month down the road, it's 2,000. And all the things that you ask for, or they get. So I have a real frustration with the website thing. I don't know, maybe Mrs. So Sassy could do a little video clip on it. I think we should get her to do that. Should we get her to do that? Yes.
I have.
Go and tell Mama
I have 3.
You have 3 what?
3 things to say.
What? 3 things to say.
Yeah.
Come on in.
What?
Everybody's waiting on your 3 things. Tell me your 3 things.
Since I'm 8 now.
You're 8 now?
I can take over 1. I can take over the business because I'm older.
Are you going to take over the bit? Are you?
2.
Yeah.
Why can't I have a place in the business?
You have a place in the business.
No, I don't.
You do. Your name is S.E. Seren, right?
Yeah, that's only a name.
Okay.
First of the day. And third,
What?
buy my dad's chocolates. They're Ferrari.
I don't have any chocolate at the minute. It's all gone. You keep eating it all.
When he
Go.
restocks,
Roy.
when he restocks chocolate, buy some.
Okay.
They're really delicious.
Okay. Khalas.
And
go.
good price.
Rocky, go.
Amazing price.
Don't work with children or animals, right? They're all coming in now. Anyone familiar with Amedi chocolates from Italy? Yes, I know it, and it's good stuff.
Oh, I just want to scale something quick.
Do you want to scale something?
Yeah.
They're all in my face tonight. Emma, yeah, it's a nice brand. That it's quite an established brand. Amedi, yeah. Yeah, Squarespace is expensive. I think you know the challenge with. Here's a challenge as well with Squarespace. They say, well, your payment provider, you've got to use Stripe. Squarespace owns Stripe. Okay, Stripe is a payment. So they're just a payment executor. So what happens is your customers. This is what lead, and the fees are. The fees are like 2.4%, 2.6%. So, for example, if you buy £100 of these and it goes through my system at the minute, you pay on Squarespace, Stripe, and that goes into Stripe, and then Stripe pays to my bank account, but they take a 2.7% fee, right, or 2.6% fee. So they take £2.50 out of that 100 before you've even done anything. the challenge you have with Squarespace is you pay for the website for a month, and then behind the scenes there's all these other payments, and by the time you get your money, everybody's taking a little bit of a bite out of it, right? So what you actually get paid is nothing, and then on top of that you've got to do postage, which is another fee. So Squarespace is great at entry level to start off, but what I would suggest is and they're quite easy to negotiate, they're quite easy to, you know, it's kind of click and collect. You can move stuff around, you can do all your little bits and pieces. As you get further down the road and you start seeing the fees, when the money goes up, you're like, that's steep. And your choice is, you know, Stripe as a provider, which they also own, so that's where they make their money. So it's really, it's finding different, there's so many different payment providers out there, but the likes of Squarespace don't allow any others in, right? So you can end up a little bit stuck, right? She put sassy in so. Let me scroll back. I don't know why that's done that. So, Erin saying, she's capping a molten salt caramels painted with her orange colour. Seren's orange has gone. That's gone crazy this week. I've had to done three or four mixes of Seren's orange this week. Apple Crunch and Seren's orange going absolutely off the charts. There's some colours that don't move for weeks, and then suddenly everybody wants them, and I have no idea what why that happens, because I can't find it relating to a post or anything. So I don't know. I'm still trying to work this out as well. So. Right, the founder split. Okay, Kate Midge, I saw. Any advice for vintage metal chocolate moulds? God, if only we could go back 40 years. That's all there was. We didn't have polycarbonate. That's all there was, and you used to spend hours polishing them. We used to have to use groundnut oil, but then wipe it all out so they didn't go rusty, and then when you wanted to use them you had to scrub them out so they had no oil in it, so that just I don't know where you get them. I think, you know, things like eBay and what have you, I don't think there's anybody really making vintage molds. I would you know, local, we have a lot of charity shops we find a lot of stuff in. I don't know about the vintage. I don't know where I'd start looking for those. I think an internet search or eBay, right? So I need to make her my PR person. She's our PR person. Sarah will jump on stage and sing, right? She's definitely going to be our sales and marketing, without a doubt. It's just, without a doubt. Yeah, WordPress is good. We're doing WooCommerce. It's not the website that's the issue, it's the payment provider, and it's the fees that come off that. It's staggering when you add it all up. It's absolutely staggering. So, I'll say chocolate shells. Anybody go to the Excel show, the one in London? I didn't have time. I just didn't have time. I was just too busy. Dolcimar, I might have missed this, but do you recommend stockpiling the chocolate before the price goes even higher? I think lots of people are. Look, the price is going up. It's going up by the day. And as I explained at the beginning, it's the brokers that are doing this because they're trying to snap up the market and there isn't much there. And as the yields come in, they're trying to buy that. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of stockpiling. You can stop. I mean, obviously, like if you want to buy excess amount, that's absolutely fine. Just make sure that you look after it and it's airtight. And then throughout the summer, it's going to be free from any moisture ingression. So, you know, it's really looking after it along that journey and making sure it's got a good shelf life on it. I think one of the ones that I find strange is you look at production dates. So you look at chocolate when it was produced. It's not 6 months ago it was produced. You know, some of it's like 2 years old. At the point that we get it, it's 2 years old already. So that was cocoa beans. You know, there's one that I got here. I'm not going to name the brand, but the production date was 2023. Sorry, the production date was the start of 2022. Production of that chocolate. So by the time I got to it, it's 2024. It's already 2 years old, right? So this is what big industry does. Is they get ahead of themselves. So I don't know. I'm not a big fan of stockpiling stuff because, you know, whilst it's West Africa that's had the shortage, Central America hasn't. And whilst they aren't bigger producers, you've got other issues like, you know, the EU put some rules onto what Ghana could and couldn't do in their own country with their own beans. So they've said, well, we're not shipping to the EU now. Côte d'Ivoire, I think, did the same thing as well. So it's hard. It's difficult. The price is definitely going up. It's hard to determine where the yields are going to come from. Who knows? It could just peter out for us. Adria there, A+ truffles. Hello, bestie. James, any advice for dry fruit fillings? Yeah, any dry fruits will. So dried fruits, do you know dried cranberries, dried raisins? They will fold into gandujas, but they will fold into caramels really, really well and stay because their dried fruits are semi-soft. But they are dehydrated. They're not dehydrated to the point where they're absolutely crispy, rock hard, right? So they will fold into all chocolates. You can fold those into anything. They will go in ganache. They will go into gandujas. They'll go into caramels. Really nice. I like dried fruit in chocolate. Got to say, it can go into any filling that you want. Absolutely, Ned. It can go to any filling that you want. I won't worry about the shelf life of it because if any, you know, I guess if you put it into a ganache, if you put like raisins or sultanas into a ganache, they'll pump up a little bit more, but not so much that it's damaging, or they would go soft like if you were using fouilletine or something like that. So, yeah, Ned, go for it. Absolutely fine. Who else? I'm trying to find some new names there. Nadia, I've already seen. Who else have I seen? A+. Sweet Designs. Going to send some waves out. But if you, I don't know if you want to stockpile. Strawberry Reds prices haven't gone up a huge amount. I think buy what you need. Do you know what I think is really important is that you don't waste a single drop. Like, you shouldn't be wasting chocolate anyway, and I don't think there's any wastage in chocolate anyway, but I think that you've got to be careful on I think with some of your fillings, because that will take up a big majority of your fillings. You know, the average shell weighs 2 grams, right? The filling is 10-12 grams, so how much of that is chocolate? It's making sure that you get the full yield and you're not wasting any. So do you need all ganache fillings, which is going to use more chocolate, or could you get away doing different things, doing fruit caramels, doing salt caramels, doing some more nut based if you want to, whether that's pralines, gandujas, whatever it is that you want to do. I think it's just diversifying that range rather than just having it all chocolate. Having said that, I'm a big fan of getting more chocolate in my chocolates, right? So I'm not a big fan of fruit gels and all that kind of thing. I'd much rather do it like a proper fruit caramel. Tough times ahead. Diversify: cookies, biscuits, breads. If you're home, if you're a home producer, I think it's really important that you can, what else can I make? What else can I sell that will sit alongside the chocolate that I'm making, right? Or go down the route of making lip gloss. Not that we need to. That's Sophia's thing. Everybody's a bit quiet tonight. Why is everybody quiet tonight? So what you can do with dried fruit as well. If you soak them in a stock syrup, right, and blend them up and puree them, they make. It's a fruit puree, right? So I'm thinking about, like, we buy date puree, which is date puree, and then we'll mix spices like the mahlab into it. And that's really, really interesting, the date puree. The date puree is not expensive. I think 500 grams is like $2.99. 500 grams of date puree goes a long way. We'll mix it with a little bit of honey and a little bit of mahlab, and that'll make up a third of a filling. We'll do a mahlab caramel that goes on top of that. That's the one. I think that's the one that was in the most recent filling. Dried fruits, if you can puree them or chop them down fine enough, it's a bulking agent as well, right? So it will add some volume to your fillings. That's always good. Paula's busy wrapping eggs the kids have made in cellophane to give to family. We've got to make chocolates to take to family, so we've got to do that next, but I think I know what the fillings are going to be. Pretty predictable. So we've got all that to do this week. We may well do that tomorrow. I've got some eggs to do, I've got some colours to test, got some new colours to test. This one, we decided on a bottle. Now we're just looking at, and then it's going to have a tamper seal on it as well. So I'm hoping by mid-May those will be available with a peel-off label as well, which is an information label. So all that's going on at the moment. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. Dr. Mara, I used an airbrush for the first time today. It went really well, but took a long time to do one mould. Is that normal? It shouldn't take that long to do a mould. It depends on, again, my airbrush class goes into all of this. There's so many variables with airbrushing. There's so many variables: the size of the nozzle, size of the mould, the type of design, which butter, A, B, C, D. Type A sprays really easily. Type B needs a little bit more pressure, slightly lower temperature. There's so many variables on it. No, it shouldn't take, I think, you know, a standard mould for me, if I was spraying it full colour, 30 seconds, 40 seconds, probably max. I've got a little bit more experience, but that would be with that size, right? With a size 8, 30 seconds, 40 seconds to do a mould, probably about that, 30, 40 seconds. If I go onto the big turbine, it's 30, 40 seconds for 5 moulds, but that comes with a very different price tag. My airbrush class goes into that. It's hard for me to answer here. There's so many variables, and there's so many variables. Well, I think what you don't want to do with airbrushing, and for anybody that's done that class, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about here. Whacking the pressure all the way up is not going to make your spraying any faster. Same as having a massive, you know, if you go from a 0.8 needle to a 1mm needle, it isn't going to speed things up. What it will do is just waste more. And we're not into waste. We don't like wasting. Cocoa butter is expensive, I know, because I make it. So 0.8 needle generally for everything. For fine details, we'll do a 0.5. Setting the pressure for the cocoa butter you've got is the trick, and it's knowing why and what and then when. A plus, got my first wholesale order, all custom golf balls. Happy days. Chocolate shells saying my 25 kilo sack of flour went up £9 a sack last week. Prices are rising everywhere. Yep, everybody's feeling it, right? Can we talk about the table of contents? I just wonder how others do to adjust some different collections in chocolate boxes over the year. With the, have I got one here? I don't print. There we go. Get the box out. So mine go. That's my collection. It will have. If I've got all the stuff here. It'll have a ribbon that goes around it. I don't get too carried away. I'll tell you what, I don't get too carried away with the packaging. We put a ribbon around it, and we've got these ribbons that got chocolate written on it. It doesn't say that, so we have a ribbon that goes around it. We print our own, so it will have, that's the actual collection. There's 3 left because somebody's actually bought those. And then we will print our own. What I will do is I've got all the chocolates. I've got all the chocolate varieties with those in a Word document. And then as I make the product, I'll write down what I've used. So where I've got fouilletine, I can cut and paste that and start making up all the ingredients that go into each box, okay, with the flavour and all the bits and pieces in there. As I do a collection, I will print my own. I mean, it'd be easy for us to go and have printed menu cards. The challenge is, I might do, this week I might do 100 boxes, next week I'll do 30 of a different collection. And then in between that, I've got corporate orders happening. All this stuff is on a Word document. So I've got all the chocolates, so I can cut and paste that across to a menu. I've got all the different fillings and the caramels, that's all broken down. So where I do a recipe for a caramel, underneath it, I'll do the allergen information. So all I need to do is highlight that, copy it, and I can pull that across. It just makes it very efficient. When I come to write a new menu, like if I wanted to change that whole box of 12, it would take me 2 or 3 minutes just to change all that information, because I have it all pre-stored. There's absolutely nothing stopping us printing a lovely, colourful menu card and having that printed, or even just kind of printing our own. It's just not the route that we've gone down. I've never really had any resistance for that. I don't know. It depends how aesthetic you want it looking. I rely on them just looking nice and colourful and presentable. We got those ones as well, Eid Mubarak one. So that's all going out at the minute. That's a different collection altogether. So where we have different collections and different things going on, we will just produce our own very, very quickly. The table of contents is not that complicated. If you've got all your recipes written down, where you write your recipes down, you should have those in a printed format. That stuff, the information from that, because if it's got nuts, we'll put all that in there. So it's just easy to copy and paste over into the kind of menu boxes. So, I mean, that's the best way I know of doing it. Certainly the way I do it is fastest and efficient. So, what is that? These are cocoa pearls. These are cocoa pearls, and what we are, they're the green ones. They're little cocoa pearls. They are for colouring white chocolate. The reason we're making those is it's for chocolatiers, but also patisserie market. If you had a bowl of white chocolate and you wanted to colour it, you could use these. The problem is it dilutes it down, so the fluidity changes, which is a problem, because if you start adding too much to it, you'll break the limit of colouring. But also, when the fluidity changes, you end up with a fill. You've got to start tracking back on a formula and all the rest of it. So what those are tiny little pearls that are 5 times the power of, I guess, of what this would be. But it's for colouring fat-based. So whether that's white chocolate, I guess milk chocolate as well, or glazes, or the patisserie work. So we're hoping to launch those. There's a lot of details around it. There's a lot of legal side as well. So the formulas of how much you can use. Each pearl is 0.3 of a gram. So 6 pearls. 6 pearls is 2 grams, but that's enough to colour 400 grams or 500 grams of white chocolate without breaking the limits. Having said that, like the power flowers, you can shake in as many as you want, but there is a limit that you can go to. With the colours, you can't change that. So you can add more and more and more, but the fluidity would change and you'd end up with a different product. What these are very good for, though, is you can dilute those down with white chocolate or the cocoa butters, and you can spray velvet, which is as simple as taking your bonbons and freezing them. Use untempered cocoa butter. So you just want to warm the cocoa butter to around about 35, give it a really good shake, put it in the airbrush, maximum power, take your bonbons out, make sure you've covered everywhere in plastic, and while they're still frozen, you're spraying untempered cocoa butter onto the bonbons, and then just put them back in the fridge, and it will spray like velvet, and then just put them back into the fridge and let it solidify, and you'll end up with that velvet effect. Cocoa, what are good ingredients for shelf life for sugar-free chocolate fillings? I don't do sugar-free chocolate fillings. Erythritol, stevia, I mean all the normal ones, they are sugar alternatives with the same properties as sugar. Cocoa Creations, not a big area I'm into with that. It's not something I've done a huge amount of research into either. So I think if I was answering, I wouldn't be honest. So, oh gosh, it took 10 minutes to do one mould. The average, the coverage was an issue, and the colour was very translucent. The airbrush class, it's setting the pressure for the cocoa butter. So the class goes into this. I know there's lots of people here that have done the airbrushing class, right? And there's a couple of things. There's a lot of things in that where people go, that just makes sense, right? It's a visual thing. So I don't. At no point do I start looking at the PSI that I'm spraying at, because it's absolutely irrelevant. You don't look at the revs when you're driving in a car, but we put a rev counter, don't we? Because you just head up. You don't. You know when to change gear. We set the pressure for the cocoa butter that we've got, that we're using, and then there are some variables in there in terms of how much butter, because you can limit it down or you can limit it more, and what size needle and all those bits and pieces, and then also the troubleshooting bit. And I can look at the analytics of the video. I can see where people have gone in and they go straight to this troubleshooting bit, because there's a massive spike of watched hours on the troubleshooting bit on the video. So I can look at the analytics and I can see what people are finding most useful. The cocoa butter tempering bit at the beginning seems to be very useful, because there's a lot of watched hours on that, and this is a combination of everybody that's taken that video or bought that video. The troubleshooting bit, there's a little bit of bloopers at the end where even I get it wrong, but it's Rania and I arguing over what we should be doing and what we should be filming. The airbrush class covers a lot, and it's not so much how to airbrush, it's how not to airbrush, right? And I think that's some of the stuff, right? Linda, how do I know if my coloured cocoa butter is still in temper while it's in the airbrush? How long does it usually last? If you've tempered your cocoa butter, it will remain in temper. If you heat it above 33.8, any cocoa butter or chocolate, once you heat it over 33.8, you'll have melted the beta crystals. Then it's out of temper. I get this goes back to now, and I maybe need to do a post on this, because there's so many kind of strange myths on chocolate. People say to me, my chocolate was tempered and it cooled down. My cocoa butter was tempered and it cooled down and it went out of temper. If it was in temper, it had beta crystals in it. When it cools down, it will crystallize, because that's what you told it to do. It doesn't go out of temper, it crystallizes, because that's what tempering is. It doesn't go out of temper at a low temperature. It will remain in temper and then it will crystallize. How fast you get it to crystallize is to do with your ambient temperature, so it's whether you're using the fridge. With an airbrush, if you've tempered your cocoa butter properly and you fill that up, and as long as you're not warming that brush aggressively, it will remain in temper. Now you've got to consider your room temperature. So if your room's really warm, when that spray reaches the mould, it may not set, so now you need to cool the mould down. So there's so many little variables in there. What I would say is the biggest single mistake I see in airbrushing, and I know a little bit about airbrushing, if that's over 33.8 and you put your tempered cocoa butter in there, what's happened to your cocoa butter is you've melted all your beta crystals. So it'll be nice and fluid, so it'll spray really nice. Again, this is something that when we do the cocoa butter class, it's kind of, for those that have done the cocoa butter class, you'll know what I'm talking about. If you're spraying for 10 minutes and nothing's really changed, I would suggest, if you're spraying a mould, if you've got cocoa butter in there and it's not starting to crystallize within 2 or 3 minutes, okay, is not in temper. Like if you can spray for 30 minutes without having to warm your brush, I suspect when you turn everything out, you're going to find out you've got a problem. Cocoa butter is in temper when it has an abundance of beta crystals in it. It's from the moment you temper it, as in you cool it down and you make beta crystals form, it's starting to crystallize, so it's starting to thicken. We're putting cold air through a brush. Cold air on tempered cocoa butter is going to set. So I may well, like this time of year when it's a little bit cooler, we will spray a mould, we'll tip everything out, we'll warm everything back up, we'll get it back to the starting point, fill up the brush and go again. If I've got to do multiple moulds, we will use the turbine. Alternatively, again, this is something in the airbrush class, there are different ways of tempering cocoa butter to use them at a higher temperature. So using silk, using seed, using something else. But if it takes you more than 2 minutes to do a mould, I would question if you've got the right size needle and have you got the right pressure going on. And is the brush the right one you should be using for the task that you're doing, right? So, mind your temper. I do a QR code for the flavour guide that customers can scan, saves money on printing, thousands, and I can change the menu when I want. Absolutely. We've got, have I got it here? Let me see. The new labels that are coming out have got a QR code on them. So it will take you all the way to the website for that colour to tell you what type it is and the best nozzle and the best needle and the best temperature to use it at, because that's the next phase of what we're doing. So like colour power, yeah, absolutely, only better. Ray Green, hi Ray, I got your email, I'll answer you. Ray, if you're listening, Paula at Fusion Chocolate runs a class on doing your own label. I know, Ray, you sent me an email about like doing those. Paula at Fusion Chocolate is running a class on how to produce one of those using Canva. Not my area. I don't get involved in IT stuff. She's not my area. That's Mrs. So Sassy. She deals with all that. But Ray, yeah, I will answer you and I'll give you those details. So I have a nice gold sticker with a QR code that goes in the flavour description page on my website. I hope that customers notice the sticker and take time to look at it before they eat them. Do you know what? A lot of people don't. They don't look at it. They'll eat them, right? They'll pick it out and they'll have a read and they're like, oh, I like the colour of that one, and they eat it. So whilst legislation tells us we have to have all this information in there, not all customers do that. They just dig in, right? Candy shots, will there be a wider range of E1713 colours? We do about, I think about 55-60% of the colours we do are 1713. I'm not going down the route of doing titanium free colours, because it's only the EU and it's a baby little market for me worldwide. You know, we're shipping to, you know, I have this conversation regularly. I don't just ship to the EU. We ship to 75 plus countries now, who are allowed all of it, and that's it. You know, I don't produce particularly just for one market, so I'm not going down the route of doing titanium free. There are countries that can't have E129. There are countries that can't have 133. There are countries that can't have 122. If I took that all into account, we'd have two colours, right? White and black, that would be it. About 60% of the colours that we do are titanium free. I think that it's a tough one. It's not. I'm not going to go down a route. It's like the the natural colours is the other one that, whilst there is, people say, have you got natural colours? Yes, we do. We do natural colours, but then they don't buy them, right? It's a bit like the vegan food, isn't it? They're like, do you do vegan? Yeah, we do. Do you want to buy some? No, I was just asking. Right, great. But yeah, about 60% of our colours candy shots are 1713. So, Erin's saying, take the airbrush class and buy a good compressor. Just upgrade it to the one you recommend. It's a game changer. Put your money into the compressor, not into the airbrush. If you're going to go and buy, I always say this, the Kalani is a really nice brush. It's Harden Steinbeck, great brand. I like it, and it's a 0.8, but it doesn't do much, and it's a bit limited in terms of being able to turn it up or down or to do other things. Put your money into the compressor. It's not about the airbrush, it's about the compressor. With a big enough compressor with the right controls and a big enough demand tank, That's just the vehicle that delivers it. I just need to be able to turn it up or turn it down with the pressure that I've got. So again, the airbrush class goes into this. It's I don't think airbrush is. It comes with some rules. It comes with some. It definitely comes with some rules. It comes with some skills that you will learn. With a tiny compressor, you can't do much. Put your money into the compressor, without a doubt. Not into. You don't need. Give me a cheap compressor and an expensive brush, I can't do much. Give me a cheap brush and an amazing compressor, I can do anything. So, Andrew, I think I've watched the troubleshooting 3 times. When I look at the analytics on the video of the troubleshooting, like there's people that just open the video and go straight to the troubleshooting. The troubleshooting part of that airbrush class will solve lots of problems, right? Particularly if you've got that brush as well. And even knowing what this bit's for, game changer. That's why we did it. Sweet driver, hello. How are you? Okay. Okay, yeah, for me, I used to heat the air gun to 37 degrees, but after I took the course, I understand why, and I shouldn't heat it. Yeah, game changer. There was some advice a while ago, and somebody said, put your airbrush in the oven and warm it to 45. Do not do that, because there's a little silicone washer in here, and if you heat that to 45 degrees in dry heat, you'll melt it, and that's throw your brush away and buy a new one. The other thing is, if we know chocolate or cocoa butter, if we warm it up, the warm up is where the beta crystals get damaged. Okay, we need the beta crystals because that's what's going to tell the chocolate or cocoa butter to crystallize. The warm up is where all the damage is done. As soon as you hit 33.7, there's a few tail ends of beta crystals. Okay, so it's likely eventually it will dry or crystallize. Okay, highly unlikely. As soon as you hit 33.8, like magic, the beta crystals have melted, they have gone. I didn't make that up, that's science. We know exactly what's happening with cocoa butter. Everything we need to know about cocoa butter, we kind of already know. If that's over 33.8, when you put the cocoa butter in there, the first bit that you spray won't be tempered. And what that looks like is, when you'll spray that first row, and it's like, yeah, this is amazing. And then it cools down and it gets to the stuff that isn't out of temper. And then when you go to turn your chocolates out, and I see this regularly, you turn it out and the whole bottom row has got cocoa butter stuck to the mould. That was cocoa butter that was out of temper because you overheated it in a brush that was too warm. And I see that post regularly. I see that post regularly. Just scroll around. Maggie's there. Hi Maggie, how are you? I ain't spoken with Maggie for ages. I need to catch up with Maggie. She's like the original Chocky Chat crew. Okay, what time have I got? It's nearly that time. It's nearly that time, people. I'm gonna get going. I am gonna get going. Get your orders in by Wednesday if you can. Thursday at the very, very latest. We're away from Friday. I'm taking a break. Well, it's kind of a little break. We'll take some time off because we've got some other things to do. So we've got to fly off somewhere and deal with some other stuff. So get your orders in. Get your orders in. Classes as normal. The classes I've just hidden for now so I don't have loads booked while I'm away because that's also a problem as well. That's what I say. Well done on all the sales. Well done on all the Easter eggs. Have a think about diversifying a little bit. You know, we're all in this together with the cocoa prices. They are going to go up and eventually they're going to come down. It's how well we can ride out this storm, if that makes sense. It is a soft commodity, so it will go up. And when there is excess, the price will go down again. Won't go down to what it used to be though, will it? But anyway, everybody have a really lovely weekend. Are you going to say bye-bye? Sarah's going to come and say bye-bye. Have a lovely weekend, and we will see you next Friday.
Bye-bye.
I don't know if we'll be in here or if we'll be somewhere else, but we'll see you next week. Have a lovely week,
Chocy.
everybody. Happy Easter.
Have a lovely Easter, and also have a lovely Ramadan. And buy my dad's chocolates.
Yes.
They're delicious. They're delicious.
Come on.
Perfect.
Tell us.
Amazing.
Enough.
Cocoa butter.
Bye-bye, everybody.